Hello, welcome everyone. This is Ortrun Franklin, and I'm hosting Carl's show, Our Spirit's Ascension, on the WIN Network. And before we begin, I'd like to mention to you that last week we had some technical difficulties, and I apologize for those. And the program that I was presenting, the Egyptian initiatory temples, that particular one on the halls of Amenti, they will be presented next month on the second Monday on the WIN Network. Okay, Carl is here with us, and he is ready to begin his show. So here he is, and thank you again for all of you for joining us this evening.
Hi, everyone. It's good to be with you again. It would be better in person, but this is better than not at all, I suspect. I want you to be make yourself comfortable and take a couple of deep breaths. And quiet your mind. And open your heart. And ask for the spirit beings that work with you to be close to you, to help you be discerning what is true for you and what perhaps is not your truth, but maybe someone else's. Accept only that is true for you, and accept only that is empowering you and is for your highest good. I'm going to suggest that through most of this talk, you stay in this quiet, comfortable state. You can work out of conscious and subconscious together, and the information will be more significant and more meaningful, and your discernment will be better. I want to deal with two things tonight. And the first is a global concern, and the second is a personal area. On the global concern, things have been happening that are not being publicized, and these are personal experiences, my personal involvements. It started early November. And I've mentioned this before, that these tremendously dark, evil beings were coming. And I was doing, I do clearing work. I clear out the entities, that is earth. These are people that have died but have not left the earth, or earthbound entities. And I do that every day. And in doing that, these extraordinarily dark, vile, evil beings were being escorted off of the planet by 2 archangels and 1 ascended master. And when it was over, I asked, what's going on? And I was told that these were the very top echelon of the forces of darkness on the earth, the ones that were called the Illuminati. And that they had been told some time ago that they had to change their act. They had to begin working for the upliftment, the betterment of humanity and the earth, rather than for their own selfish gains. And these people, they felt that they were omnipotent. There was nobody more powerful than them, and no one was going to tell them what to do. So what happened was, within a heartbeat, they were removed from their body, and an ascended master slipped into their body. Okay, and as November wore on and we went into December, this happened 3 or 4 times. Only the beings weren't as powerful, weren't quite as dark, and they were finally they were escorted off, by an archangel and ascended master. And then it was quiet the early part of this year on that level. Each day I was still clearing out I'm going to call them the unattached, earthbound entities. But then about 2 weeks ago, it began happening again. And they were not, I can't say that they weren't dark, but they weren't that dark. They were much lighter. And this, I'm going to call him a lieutenant, all right, who was heading up like almost 1,000 dark beings. This lieutenant, along with a half a dozen or so what I call dark lords, came and asked for help. And there were other people like him, other lieutenants behind him that were just angry as hell at him, just, shouting and pounding their fist at him, and just because he was, quote, betraying them. And he was turning to the light. And those that followed him were following him to the light. And so I called in, the angels of transition, and I called in master teachers and ascended masters, and for the lieutenant and archangel, and they escorted them into the light. And then the next day there were 3 others, groups like that. And then the next day there were 5 other groups like that. And that's been going on now for 2 weeks. Just as I had moved 3 families about late this afternoon. And then I was sitting here preparing for this broadcast. Here's another one, another 3 more came. And they're lined up, waiting to be helped now. And I had to ask them to stop. When I'm done with this, I will help you. And these are the beings from the spirit realm that were overlighting and empowering the dark beings here on the earth, the ones that head up the banking industry, the governments, the large corporations, etc. Okay? And so they are now of their own volition turning to the light, which means that their energy, their guidance, their wisdom, their knowledge, their experience is no longer available to those that are still here in physical body. And with the very head of these dark organizations having been replaced with light beings, I guessed or estimated it would be about 6 months before that energy could filter down and bring about these changes. And I was wrong. It's only taking 4 or 5 months. It's happening. And what I'm projecting is that by the end of this month, all of these earthbound hierarchy energies, beings, will be gone. And I'm sensing that perhaps as early as this summer, the effect of that, their not being here, and their negative energies, their power and so on not being available, that this whole financial, military, industrial, governmental complex that has been guided by the dark is going to begin crumbling. And I can't help but feel that when it starts, it's only going to take a matter of a couple of weeks. So it could be, if my projection is correct, it could be a most interesting and beautiful summer where the light really comes to the fore, comes into its own, and the opposition crumbles. So I wanted to share that with you. Now, if it doesn't happen this summer, know that I tend to be optimistic. And it may be in the fall, or it may be at the end of the year, or it may be next year. No one knows the time on this. But know that it's happening, and it's getting ever, ever closer. Okay, I want to pause here and open it. Any comments or any questions that you might have? If you're on the telephone, press 1. Orchard, I need your help here. How do they, on the phone, how do they ask questions? I'm sorry, you press *2 if you're on the telephone. Any comments, any questions, any thoughts? And if you're on the computer, you can type it in. Okay, if not, then let's go on to the personal level here. Have you set any personal goals for yourself in terms of what kind of growth you want to achieve this lifetime? I have. And my goal is to become a Christed being. And when I say a Christed being, I mean to reach the point that I can do and have the connections that Jesus the Christ had. He told us, all of the things that I do, all of the signs and wonders you see me do, these and even greater shall you do. And I believe that he said that, and I believe that that is true. He also said, as the Father is in me, so am I in you. Which means that we have not only the Father within us, but we also have the Christed potential within us. And he said the kingdom of heaven is within us, and the King, being God, is in his kingdom, and that kingdom is in part within us. And he capped this all off by saying, and here he's quoting the psalmist, the 82nd Psalm, "Do you not know that you are God?" And the highest level of divinity, of godhood, that I believe we can express on this planet at this time is to be a Christed being. Now, whether I, in fact, attain that goal or not is not nearly as important as that I have a goal and that I am consciously working to attain it. It gives me a sense of direction. It gives me a goal. It gives me a measure against which I can evaluate and see my progress. And I would suggest that that is a potential goal for each and every one of us. For I believe that we are all here to become Christed beings. Now, a Christed being is functioning at the very highest end of the fifth dimensional level of consciousness. And from that perspective, we see things differently than we did in the third dimension. And we see things differently than we do in the fourth dimension. And I find that most light workers at this time are functioning about 40 to 50% of their awake time in the fourth dimension. They're functioning in 14 to 18% in the third dimension. And they're functioning 34 to 44% of their time in the fifth dimension. Now, this is where they are now. It's fascinating that 5 years ago, those numbers were almost reversed. They were functioning a third of the time in the third dimension, and they were only 10 or 12% in the fifth dimension, and the balance in the fourth dimension. Now, the fourth dimension is a dimension of transition. It's short, it's intense, And it's where we're letting go of our third dimensional beliefs and behaviors and attitudes and outlooks, and we're replacing it with the fifth dimensional. And the fifth dimensional is based on love, at-one-ment, and personal empowerment. We're no longer giving our power away. We are making our own decisions. We are living our own life. And we're doing it out of love and out of concern for not just ourselves, but for all that our words and actions are going to impact. So I would encourage you to consider that as a potential goal for your life and make as much progress as you can. Okay? I want to now identify some of the steps or things that can be done to move towards that goal. Number one is give up all fear. Give up all negative thoughts. And this means being responsible for the thoughts you hold. You can only be responsible if you're aware of them. So be aware of your thoughts, because out of your thoughts come your emotions, out of your thoughts and emotions come your words and your actions. If it is not an empowering, positive thought, replace it with one that is. And this is where mantras can come in happy. You can have 2, 3, 4, 5 different sayings, short sayings, that will be the opposite of any negative thought that might creep in. And so replace that negative thought with this positive mantra. And in this way, and as you do that repeatedly, day after day after day, those mantras are going to overwhelm all of these negative thoughts, which are no longer going to be a part of your thinking process or your life. Okay. Secondly, instead of having your focus just on yourself, be aware of what effect your thoughts, your words, your emotions, your actions are having on all that are going to be impacted by it. And do what is in the highest good of everyone that you're touching. One of the changes I find in myself is if I'm in the bank, if I'm in the grocery store, if I'm in a restaurant, if even just a stranger, I'm talking to them. And I am not consciously, not with intent, but I'm sharing with them thoughts and humor and love and joy that picks them up, that helps them raise their frequency, that makes this a better day for them. And I'm doing this if I'm talking to them in person or if I'm talking with them on the telephone. And it doesn't, I don't need to know them at all. But if I can just make them smile, make them laugh, make them forget their worries and fears, bring some joy and some laughter and even peace into their life. And if they want to talk, let them talk. Listen to them. And if you have words of wisdom to share, if they're open to hear it, share it. So to be focused on them rather than on self. And you know what? It makes me feel great. So it's benefiting me as well as benefiting them. And I really feel that what I'm doing is I'm just spreading love. And who of us doesn't like to feel that we're loved? Okay, again, any comments, any thoughts, any reactions here? What are you doing that you can share that might be helpful to others? Press *2. If you're on the computer, you can type it in. Everybody is quiet tonight. As far as I can tell, I don't have Ortran here to help me. I'm not very good at this. In fact, I've never done this before. So I'm hoping that I'm not missing something here. Going back to becoming a Christed person, the most helpful thing that you or I can do to help humanity in the ascension process is our own growth. As we grow, as our consciousness raises, our aura changes, the energy we're radiating, our words and actions do change, and we are grounding higher dimensional energy into the earth, and we are sharing higher dimensional energy with all that we are in contact with. And this is the most, if we've got a million, no, let's go 10 million, no, 100 million light workers doing this, and we probably have at least that many light workers on the planet now. Can you imagine the impact that that's going to have on the collective human consciousness? Can you imagine the effect that that's going to have just in your own home by you making this change? Because much of our behavior is responsive. We're responding to what someone else has said or done. And if we respond from this higher level of consciousness, that's going to change their response back to us. So we've raised this whole intercourse, this whole field of energy in our home to a higher level. And it is contagious, not only by raising the responses that we are each giving to each other, but as you do that in your neighborhood, your energy is radiating out, your family's energy is radiating out. It impacts the people that live near you. And there is a ripple effect, and the ripple effect literally goes around the world. Okay, not necessarily in the physical sense, but in the energetic sense of worldwide consciousness. And with enough of us doing this, the earth is raising at an unprecedented rate of speed. The consciousness of humanity is changing at the highest rate it has changed in the history of the planet. In fact, it may be one of the highest, if not the highest rate in the galaxy and the universe. There was a channeling that came in today from Hilarion. I sent it out to those of you that are on my email list. And Hilarion said, in part, he said, all of the problems, all of the challenges that can exist in the third dimension are now on the earth. And you may have heard me say before that this was going to happen. And we are here as light workers to identify, deal with, and solve these problems, these challenges. And the energy of those solutions is going to be then taken to other planets throughout the universe that have these same types of challenges, and that energy will be transplanted there, and it may be taken by some of us, or it may just go in pure energy form, but that energy will be transmitted there to help these people solve those problems on their planet. And if you can imagine our solutions being taken to all of the third-dimensional inhabited planets in the universe, what we are doing here has a universal impact. And it's going to allow these third-dimensional planets and the highest evolved species on these planets to greatly exhilarate their rate of growth. Because the challenges that are there, they're going to solve, but we're providing the solutions and the energy for them to solve it with. They're going to learn as much as we learned, but they didn't have to go through the whole process that we have had to go through. And we volunteered to do this to help uplift the entire universe, in essence, from the bottom up. The third dimension is the lowest vibrational planet that can house what we would consider to be advanced life. Now, these are not all human, but they are all equivalent to us in terms of consciousness. The bodies may vary, but in our galaxy, the majority of them are human, not only in the third dimension, but in the fourth and fifth dimensions also. All right? So we are the most populous species in the planet in the third, fourth, and fifth dimensional levels. So what we're doing here has wide implications. So please do what you can in terms of your own personal growth, because as you grow, your energy field is changing, and that is having a ripple effect with those around you, and it's all helping to blend and raise the collective human consciousness, and that's what we all came here to do. Now, if you feel that you have not been assigned a specific task, know that this is a general task that we have all been assigned. Okay, all light workers have been assigned this. And as we do this, we're going to help more and more light workers awaken, and we're even going to be helping those who are not light workers to rise above a third dimensional level of consciousness. We're helping the entire human race. So please strive towards, if not Christhood, then some other goal that would be the equivalent of it. Now, Christhood, this comes out of the Christian religion. In the other religions, a Buddhist would call it, they're striving to attain Buddhahood, all right? Or in Islam, Muhammadhood. And I believe that Jesus, because he's the only one of these that did all of the miracles and so on that are recorded, that perhaps he was functioning at maybe a little higher level. I don't know, but that's a prejudicial statement. Okay, again, any comments, any questions from anyone here? Okay, I don't see anyone. There's never been a more exciting time to be on the planet. There's never been a time where personal growth can be attained so rapidly as now. There's never been a time when we have had so much help in our personal growth and in helping a planet or a human species or equivalent to raise their consciousness. There are, I don't know how many angels, how many beings in the spirit realm. We have inner earth people that are working with us now. It's interesting in the life script readings, one of the questions we ask them is what they were before they took on human form. And for the first time ever, this year and late last year, there are some that have come from inner earth. So some of them from inner earth are now coming to the surface to help us. And when we reach a certain point, there's going to be many of them are going to be coming from inner earth, and many of us are going to be going into inner earth. And we will probably, all light workers at one point or another will go into inner earth. And we will avail ourselves and be led to what I'm going to call a light chamber. It is a chamber for raising consciousness. It is a chamber that will help us remember. It will remove many of the blocks that we have regarding all of the past life experiences that we have had, be they on this planet or be they from the higher dimensions that we have come from. And to know that virtually all light workers that I have ever done live script readings for, and that's been about 3,000 people now, none of them have come from the earth, except for these inner earth people. They have come from someplace else. They've come from higher dimensions of space. They've come from the angelic realm. They've come from a whole different places in the spirit realm. And it's almost one-third from space and angelic and the spirit realm. So all of these beings are working with us, whether they're in embodiment or not. And all of us light workers that are in embodiment, we are all overlighted by a family of, if we came from the spirit realm, I came from the Elohim realm, which is in the spirit realm. I am an aspect of an Elohim. I'm overlighted by that Elohim. And if you came from the angelic realm, you're overlighted by a family of angels. And if you came from the space realm, you're overlighted by all of those space beings that are encircling the earth now in the countless number of ships. And they all have a desire to communicate with you. And I cannot stress enough, please, please, please meditate regularly. And in your meditation, open your heart and open your mind to those that are overlighting you and guiding you. And ask for whatever help you might need. And ask their help in helping and keeping open all chakras and energy centers in all of your bodies, your physical body, mental body, emotional body, spiritual body. And as you keep those open and as you are in tune with them, they can ground their energy through those bodies into the earth. They can radiate it out through your aura. They can radiate that energy out through your words and your actions. And you are allowing their high-frequency energy to then become a part of the earth and the collective human consciousness. Plus, you benefit from it as it's flowing through you. And I suggest that not only to have, a 15, 20-minute meditation once a day. Yes, start out with a meditation, 10, 15 minutes in the morning. But as you're driving to work, as you're doing things that are mundane and routine, as your mind does not need to be focused on what you're doing, think about them. Focus on them and ask them, is there anything you want to share with me? Is there anything you want me to express for you? And ask them to keep me filled and surrounded with your beautiful, loving, peaceful, joyful, powerful energy. And they will energize you. They will inform you. And you become then an extension of them. And you are the extension that they need in order to anchor their energy and their consciousness into the earth and into the human consciousness. So you become one with them, and they become one with you. And together you can do things that you alone would not even dream of attempting, and you can be successful in it. So be one with them. Let them be one with you. And that to me is another major step in becoming a Christed being. Do you think Jesus was working alone? He always said, my Father and I are one. And he always started each day off by going off by himself and meditating, communicating with his Father. And that is a part of what allowed him to attain Christhood and a part of what allowed him to do and accomplish what he did and accomplished. So again, he set the path. He showed us not only who we are, but he showed us how to attain that status of Christhood. Okay? Again, any comments or any questions, please feel free to star 2. Okay, I don't see anything else. I would like to have us now go into a meditative state. So please make yourself quiet, comfortable, close your eyes. And I want you to focus on your breathing. With each breath as you release it, your mind slows down and your body relaxes. With each breath, you are getting deeper and deeper, ever more peaceful. With each breath, you're going to go just above the sleep level. There is a person dressed in white. They're walking toward you. They seem extremely real and alive. But you know that if you touched them, they wouldn't be solid. It's like they're a projection of light. They come to you. They lay their hand on your heart. And you feel your heart opening wide. And you are filled and surrounded with love. They're now touching your third eye in the center of your forehead. And it's as if a curtain has been pulled back. And you can see a reality that you never really knew existed. And it's beautiful. In fact, if you breathe deeply, you can smell the aroma of it, like spring flowers. You can see the energy sparkling like diamonds in the air. And you can hear what would be described as the music of the spheres. And you realize this is a much higher dimension than we have on the earth. This is almost like heaven. They now touch the top of your head and your crown chakra opens. It opens gradually until it's almost 6 inches in diameter. And energy is flooding into you. It's a gentle energy. It's of an extraordinarily high frequency. And it's moving down through your head and down your neck, down the trunk of your body, and branches go off down each arms and into your hands. And when your trunk of your body is filled, it goes down each leg and down your feet. And it's going out your feet. And it doesn't stop at your skin. It goes out through your skin. And it envelops you in a beautiful, beautiful aura of golden white light. And then emerging from within you from the very center of the trunk of your body, another light is getting brighter and brighter, and it is golden. Your soul has been awakened. Your soul has been activated. Your soul is filling and surrounding you with its essence. And this is the divine essence of you. And in this divine essence, you are a Christed being. And as a Christed being, you can do all that Jesus said you can do. If you do healing, physical healing, if you do counseling, mental or emotional healing, if you do a spiritual healing, or if you are attempting to help anyone solve a problem, overcome a challenge, or attain a higher level of consciousness, merge with your soul. Open all chakras and energy centers. Connect with the higher aspects of yourself, your spirit family, your angels, your guides, your teachers. And you will then have so much more to offer. So much more energy, wisdom, love, patience, kindness. And all that Jesus did, you can then do also. This being of light that came to you, that touched you, that helped you open your chakras, this being of light is now standing in front of you, arms wide open. Your astral body steps out of your physical body, and you are looking deep into each other's eyes. And their eyes are so deep. It's as if when you look into them, you're seeing the entire universe. And they reach out their arms to embrace you, and you reach out your arms to embrace them. And as you embrace, your bodies merge and become one. And you now realize that this being of light is your Christ itself. And that you are and always have been, as long as you've been in human form, you have been an aspect of this Christ itself. This Christ itself has always, to the extent that you were open and willing, has expressed itself through you, your physical body, your mind, your voice, your hands, your feet. And you know that when your journey here is done, when you attain Christhood, you will permanently be a part of it, of your Christ itself. You will be one. And you know that there are 11 other aspects of your Christ itself in physical form. And when all 12 of you come back and are reunited with your Christed self, you will have gained the wisdom and the knowledge of all of their experiences, just as they will have gained the wisdom and knowledge of all of your experiences. And thus, the whole Christhood is enhanced and has evolved through these 12 individualized physical human expressions of itself. You are a divine Christed being. And in this lifetime, you have the opportunity to be permanently reconnected and merged with that aspect of yourself. And as you do this, you benefit not only yourself, not only the other 11 aspects, not only your Christed self, you benefit all of humanity and Mother Earth. Because all of the energy of your Christed self that can be radiated through you is impacting all of them. You are a light worker. And to be a light worker here on earth at this time means that the next major step that you're going to take towards your ascension is to merge with your Christed self. And as you do that, you will have fulfilled the role that you came here to play. You will have been successful in accomplishing all that you came to do and be. Feel now that divine Christed essence within you. We're going to ask that Christed essence to move into your mind. And all of the negative thought patterns, negative beliefs, all of the fear thoughts, beliefs, all of the guilt, grief, feelings of not being good enough, not being worthy, any thought, any patterns that are negative, that are limited, we're asking your Christed self to gently pluck them out and fill them with transforming white light, transforming them to their opposite, to their positive aspect. Fear becomes love. Guilt becomes forgiveness. Feelings of weakness and inadequacy become power. Feelings of unworthiness become strength. And now we ask that your Christed self move into your emotional body. And all of your emotional responses that are less than love, less than joy, less than peace, all of the anger transmuted to joy. And all of the other negative emotions, let them call them forth from within yourself, and let them become either love or joy or peace. until there are no negative emotional reactions or patterns within you. There are only positive. All situations, all circumstances, all events, all challenges you will now respond to from a position of power, of confidence, of love, of caring, of concern, of peace, of joy. And you are transforming yourself. And you are transforming your life. And you are helping those closest to you to also be transformed, because you are changing yourself, your responses, and thus helping them to change theirs. And I'll go into your spiritual body. If you were raised in the church, if you were raised in any religion, identify all of the factors in that religion and your beliefs that limit you, that are negative, that create ceilings beyond which you have never been allowed to go. And remove them or transmute them. And working with your Christ itself, working with your spirit family, and working with the divine essence that you are, you can recreate who you are. And you can recreate your life. And you can help those around you to become the best person they can be. Children, spouses, neighbors, bosses, co-workers. You are a light worker. And this is how you show your light, how you shine forth, by taking your next huge step in growth, by becoming one with your Christ itself. And now, as you're ready, you may bring your consciousness more to the surface. But you're also free to stay in this state as long as you want. To communicate deeply with your Christ itself, your spirit family, or higher aspects of yourself. I want to say thank you for letting me share these thoughts and these feelings with you. I hope that they in some way help and benefit you. I hope that they help you become the person that you desire to be. And I hope it helps you to overcome whatever challenges, which if you flip them over are really opportunities that you're dealing with at this point in your life. Please now accept my love, my support, my kind thoughts for you, and anything that you have heard here tonight, you have permission to share. And I'm going to cut this a couple of minutes short here. But I do want to end with a brief commercial, if I might. If any of you have not had a life script That is, I believe, one of the most important services that I offer. It can be a life-changing event. Give me a call or go on our website. And our website is Our Spiritual Ascension. That's all one word, .com. And there will be a face page there, and you can check LifeScript. And it'll then give you another page where you can give me your name and your number and so on, okay? Or you can just call me. And our telephone number is 616-363-6773. And if there's any other way we can be of service to you, we're here to help you. We're here to help, as we're all here to help one another. And we all differ in our gifts and our talents and our abilities. So if we have any gifts or talents that might be of benefit to you, please feel free to give us the opportunity to be of service, okay? Take good care now, and God bless. And have a wonderful week. Bye-bye now.
The moderator has left the conference.